Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Six of Pentacles. Material success. This is the idea that you are bringing something absolutely crucial to the table here. Okay? You're somebody with a lot to offer the world. You're someone that, but you know that you have success built into you. Okay, whether this is business or health or a sport or a hobby or a garden or a stamp collection or a family or a romantic relationship or a painting or a song, you got it, okay? You got what it takes within you. This is kind of the card that, it's telling me that you're an optimist. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it keeps you motivated. You keep working toward this success, and I think you're going to get there. Whatever you're doing is going to be a success, all right? There is this idea of people around you, of a group of some kind or a club, or I don't. Sometimes this card makes me think of like a potluck, family style dinner kind of thing, where everybody's bringing a dish and everybody's sitting around the round table and no one's at the head of the table. We're all here, we're all equal, we're all sharing a meal together. All right, let's see what's going on here with you. This is a good place to start, though, I gotta say. And we've got the intuition leading you forward, the high priestess leading you to your best life, the hierophant, the expertise, the crystallization of knowledge. We have a Knight of Swords. This was your acquisition of knowledge. We have also look at the major arcana. We have the Chariot up here. You are the vehicle of your destiny. Yeah, you are devoted and loyal. We've got the Five of Pentacles. So if you want that success, if you feel that success in your heart, you got to follow the High Priestess, because she's going to lead you into the struggle. And that's not where we want to go, right? You got to trust that she is leading you into it, because that's where you will find success, right? What's on the path of the serpent? Hanged man. The sacrifice, the surrender, the strength, the resilience, the mastery, and the Five of Cups. It's important that we trust and surrender to the process, because it ain't easy. These two cards, the Five, right? Your emotions are going to be like this. Your success is going to be like this. There's twists, there's turns. It's a roller coaster, this ride that you're on. Okay? It's not a merry-go-round. It's not an elevator. It's not an escalator. It's a roller coaster. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs. So this idea of this High Priestess kind of leading you by the hand, saying, trust me. Follow me into this fight, into this struggle, into this hard work, right? Follow me into the turbulent waters. Follow me into the storm here. And there's part of you that says, wait, what? No, no way. It's the human part of us that says, no, I don't want to struggle. I don't want to work hard. I don't want to challenge myself. I don't want to push myself, right? But this is where we find success. This is where we find happiness. Right? By going through the struggle, by realizing what things need to change. Every time we get a Five, it's about change. Changing our behavior, changing our heart. The way we feel about something, changing. The way we're behaving, changing. These aren't bad cards. I know we get a Five and we start thinking, uh-oh, spooky, scary. The Fives here, it's disappointment, it's worry. Well, yeah, those are natural parts. You ask anybody who's successful at anything and ask them how much they worry. Ask them how many times they've been disappointed. it's a natural part of the process, but if we're not willing to trust in the universe, to trust in our own self, our own guiding light, our own spirit and guardian angel and whatever, if we're not willing to go into this, and do this work, we're not going to bring forth what is within us. This Six of Pentacles that is in you is not going to get out. So there is this idea of surrendering with that Hanged Man, right? And I think in a lot of ways this has to do with you having the wisdom. You have the wisdom, Gemini, to know what things you can do, how to be successful, how to be master of your domain, how to be in control of yourself, how to respond to things, how to react, how to deal with things, how to behave, what to say, what to do, right? You're in control of yourself, but you can't be in control of everything. So this is a weird juxtaposition of energies. Well, especially between the surrender of the Hanged Man and the striving assertiveness of the Emperor. These two are very different. They're almost opposing. They're almost in opposition to each other. Okay, because sometimes we feel that if I'm surrendering, that means I'm not in control, right? Isn't that the definition of surrender, right? So how do we surrender but yet still maintain some sort of control? We've got to trust the process. I want to point out that the Hanged Man and the High Priestess are mirror images of each other. The High Priestess is asking you to surrender. It's difficult for you to give up control, but the High Priestess is asking you to surrender. See, look, they're mirror images of each other. Okay, they're in the very, very similar gesture, if anything. And it's, to me, it looks like two trapeze artists, and you really got to trust whoever's hand you're holding, right? So the High Priestess spirit, your own intuition, your own conscience, whatever you want to call it, is asking you to take its hand and trust it. Okay? Surrender to the process here. Realize that you cannot control everything. The juxtaposition between control and surrender. Striving and assertiveness and giving up the need for control. And I think the wisdom here is to kind of know which is which. Know what is appropriate. Know the thing, it's kind of, what is it, the serenity prayer, right? Give me the strength to change the things I can change, and the the serenity to accept what I can't change, and of course the wisdom to know the difference. So it really is a universal truth here. We have to control ourselves to the best of our ability. Anything that you can influence, anything that you can do or change, do it. Do everything you can. And then let go of the rest. Surrender to the rest. You're trying your best to be the best magician that you can be, right? Or the best musician, or the best business person, the best employee, the best artist, the best friend, the best spouse, or whatever. You do the best that you can be. Become the very best emperor that you can be. And then whatever else happens, it's not for you to really worry about. It's not for you to be disappointed over. Right? The only behavior we can change is our own. The only thing we should be disappointed in is when we fail to act appropriately. When we fail to control our responses, reactions, and our behaviors. Okay. Do everything that you can do. Do the job to the best of your ability. If it doesn't work, or somebody else gets the job, or nature decides to have her way with things, surrender to it. Accept it. Practice the art of surrendering. Practice the art of just letting things go when they're outside of our control. Do everything you can to prepare for the fishing trip. I don't know, who's the fisher person, who's the angler in your family? I'm getting an image of a boat. We're preparing for the fishing trip. I got everything. Got the tackle, got the bait, got the flies, got the sandwiches, got the cooler full of cold drinks, got the hat and the vest on and everything, got the sunblock, but then, storm. Big, rainstorm comes in. We can't go. Okay, well, you know what? That's fine. We have to realize that those kinds of things are going to happen. And I think Spirit really wants you to accept that. Because sometimes we just think, well, it's going to rain anyway. What's the point of me even getting ready? What's the point of me trying to do anything? if something is going to come along and just sort of swipe it off the table anyway. If the universe, if spirit, if nature is going to come in and just flick me like a little bug right off the table, who cares? Right? Why should I even try? Well, we have to learn that art of mastery of ourselves, of control, right? The emperor has to do everything in its power to do what's best for the realm, right? To have the success, to make this happen. And of course, obviously that serenity to just say, what will be, will be. I accept, I surrender to those things that are outside of my control. And this is that crystallization of wisdom through experience. It's going to allow you to do that and to trust this process. You are going to be successful. But it's going to be a combination between your surrender and your assertiveness, okay? Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. It will go right here with Bubo, our little mechanical owl. Now, we're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it in the comments down below. Now, looking around the room, major, a lot of major arcana: fire, water, air, and the earth, right? The earth. And the earth cards here going from a 6 to a 5 really seems counterintuitive, right? Why am I going to go from this success into the struggle? I'm going to go from what feels like a pretty good place you're in now into something more challenging. That doesn't make any sense, right? Well, I think it does, obviously it makes sense, but that's what life is. Life is going from a good spot, going from a 6 to a 5, or from a 4 to a 5, right? The 6 is the harmony. The 6 is you being in harmony with the process of change. That is this. This is the process of change. You're in this harmony. You've got to continue to change. The only stability is through challenging yourself, finding those difficulties, finding the ways in which I can do better, be better, think better, act better, learn more, push myself, right? And when things don't work out, accept it. I've never, this is kind of a rare set of cards. I've never seen that. I think it's the Serenity Prayer, right? Control the things we can, accept the things we can't, the wisdom to know the difference. And I think that, I've never seen quite that being expressed this way, but this is a good combination of cards. Okay. The High Priestess, of course, is that higher conscience, higher self, true self, God, goddess, deity, guardian, angel, spirit, guides, ancestors, whatever you want to call it. That's guiding you forward. It's kind of like the universe is saying, trust me. Trust me as we go forward into this uncertainty, into this instability of the 5. So we're going to start here, right, with the challenge. This is what is right in front of you, the difficult thing that you want to do. The challenge, the change that you're getting ready to face, to get involved with. Now, whether this is a change that you are sort of initiating, or if this is some change that's happening in your life that you now have to adapt to, control what you can, accept the rest, right? I think this is both of those things. I think this is you knowing and intentionally seeking out more challenging opportunities. Kind of like you have, you got your white belt in jiu-jitsu, right? Aren't you going to keep working and challenging yourself and pushing yourself to try to get what comes next? I don't even know, gray belt or something, white and gray maybe. To get the next belt anyway. I was in karate. We had the white, the yellow, and the green or something. That's as far as I got. But you're going to want to advance, right? You make $1 million, and is that where you stop? Well, no. Let's find some other work to do, and let's make another one. Right? If you get a job, your entry-level job, you say, cool, I got a job, it's a good job. Aren't you going to try to get better and do better and learn more and sort of show your worth and try to grow and become the best version of yourself that you can and go after the promotion? Maybe you'll get it, maybe you won't. But you've done everything that you could to make it happen. The rest is kind of up to other people, up to chance, up to the universe, etc. So I feel like you're kicking off more opportunities for growth, that you're seeking out challenges intentionally, right? This is really, it's an interesting kind of. To get a 6 and a 5 like that it makes me laugh. Because this is success and this is worry. When you have this success, you're not worried at the moment, but we're going into worry. Why are we intentionally seeking out something that's going to disturb us? Something that feels like shaky ground, right? Well, because there's more here, right? You dig a little hole in the dirt, you find a little bit of gold. You say, I found some gold. That's it. Run home, tell your family, right? No, you're going to dig more. You're going to go back with bigger shovels and say, I wonder what else is down here. Yeah. And so we're seeking out challenges. We're looking for new ways to challenge ourselves and grow. Maybe we find nothing. Maybe we'll find the jackpot, And I think this is also Spirit showing you how to handle any future problems that you have in your life. Tomorrow, guess what? There's going to be a challenge. Tomorrow, something's going to happen that you wish didn't happen. This is how we deal with it. By doing the very best that we can through a training process, sort of, as it were, right? Through this intentionally seeking out challenges that force me to grow and do better. It's like we go to the gym and we train our muscles to lift heavy weights and to do certain moves, I don't know, whatever, right? Or running, right? We're on a treadmill running. Why? Well, to get healthy, right? To train ourselves to be healthy. Why? So that if we ever are in a situation where we have to run, we will be able to do it, right? You're lifting, hundreds of pounds of weights. Why? Well, in case you ever have to do that out in life. In case there's ever some reason why you'd have to lift up 100 pounds of whatever, that you're capable of doing it. Okay? So it's sort of training. It's like we're seeking out challenges so that we can grow into the best version of ourselves and develop the skill and really crystallize our knowledge and wisdom and experience with this Hierophant card. So that we know how to handle the challenges that we are not expecting. We're able to handle those surprises, right? Maybe some tower moments that happen. We're going to be perfectly equipped and know what to do, and we're able to respond. If it works out well, great. If it doesn't, we're going to practice that surrender, So I find that the Hierophant really is that crystallization of knowledge, that you're seeking out new experiences. And I don't know if this is, with health, exercise stuff, or if it's financial stuff, if it's work-related, career, family, friends, I don't know, whatever it may be. But I think that you're someone who appreciates experience of any kind, and you don't let anything really go to waste. That everything has become part of you. Everything that you've ever done in your life is crystallizing into this wisdom. And I think that you're somebody who, at some point in your life, eventually, when this sort of active process is sort of over, when sort of as we get older and older and older, and eventually we're going to settle down to like teach or speak or like write. Okay? To me, that's what this card's all about. It's like we got to that point, we've been through enough experiences of life that now we get to sort of settle down from all of that working out in the field to now just sort of teaching the craft to others, or writing about it, or speaking about it, or doing something to express that body of wisdom, right? So depending on how old you are, you might still be learning. You might still be back here in the Knight of Swords energy, where we're sort of learning the information. We're learning about life. We're learning about the craft, or we're learning about the path, right? This is a card of sort of that eagerness to learn. This is kind of like we're diving in. We're consuming as much knowledge as we can, and it's like there's nothing that I'm not going to investigate. We're going down rabbit holes. See, we're just swooping down toward every experience that we can, because everything is going to teach us something. Yeah, and so here is kind of like we are. This is like the best kind of student, right? One that is really eager to learn, one that can immerse themselves in every idea, right? And, I think that this over time becomes the Hierophant, becomes a crystallization of wisdom. This is, let's say, the mastering the art of learning, right? This is then sort of reaching not the end of the process. I don't think we ever stop learning. But this is reaching a point where it's like, I've learned enough now that I need to start sharing that experience with others and teaching others. So I feel like You're destined to be some kind of a teacher or a writer or a speaker of some kind. Maybe you already are. So the process here is one of constantly learning, constantly improving by seeking out more and more challenging things. You get really good at math. Okay, I'm good at algebra. Great. I'll just sit there and do algebra all day long. Well, why don't you bump it up? Do algebra 2. Maybe do an intro to calculus or whatever it's called. I'm terrible at math. We're seeking out new and more challenging things to do. Okay, until we decide, maybe we retire one day and we say, now, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. Now I just want to sort of share what I've learned. We're always going to be learning new things, but now it's kind of the time to settle down, and I want to write the books. I want to write the textbooks rather than study the textbooks. Okay? And I think that's kind of this hierophant under the surface. But you have such a devotion and a commitment to the life that you're leading now that I don't know that you really want to ever leave this, right? I feel like you have some kind of I don't know if it's a job or it's a vocation, but what you do in life, it feels like something that you can do forever. You know, it feels like something that even when you're really old, even though you're 120 years old, you're still going to be able to do it if you want to. Because there's a devotion and a commitment here. It feels like this is your destiny. And destiny, I think, is an alignment with our spiritual purpose and our willingness to do the very best that we can, to give expression to whatever it is that is inside of us that's trying to get out. Whatever the best version is of us that's inside of us in seed form, it's our duty to try to plant that seed and grow into whatever this is. We're growing into this huge oak tree, right? And so it is our destiny to try our very best to do that, to give expression to whatever is inside of us. That's loyalty, that's commitment, that is devotion. Okay? And that's the Chariot card. It's kind of saying, I do it even though it's not easy, even though some days I'm tired, I'm here, I'm up, I'm going, I'm doing it, right? This is a card of kind of being in motion, right? And it's different than fate, because the fate is more about what the high priestess is showing you. The high priestess is showing you to accept your fate. And the fate to me feels like those things that happen around us as we're trying to fulfill our destiny. Fate is what happens to us. Fate is the conditions in which we are trying to fulfill our destiny, right? And we have to learn to accept fate, but also strive toward our destiny. So it's a contention of forces between the emperor and the hanged man. Anyway, to summarize the path of the dove, I know we talked about a lot of different things. I feel like you are, you're growing and evolving your work. Maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your physical, whatever your path is. I feel like Spirit is leading you toward new opportunities for growth. Okay, you're challenging yourself in new ways. And I think that you are more equipped to handle some of those fated challenges that may show up on your doorstep unexpected. Okay, you're prepared for these. You're seeking these out in your own way, and you're ready to face any of the variables or contingencies that may happen on the path. Okay. Now, Path of the Serpent over here, by the way, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Okay. The general energy right now, I think what you're trying to really embody is this idea of surrender. Surrendering to the nature of the path, surrendering to just the reality that's in front of us, the Five of Pentacles that we're looking at, the challenges that you're facing right now. And accepting that, you know what, this is my fate. This is my challenge, and I have to do my very best to get through this. And if I do my very best, then the outcome doesn't matter. We're surrendering to the flow, right? And it's like if we prepared the way we are supposed to prepare, then this bout that we're about to enter, should go our way, but it may not. Okay, so it's kind of like you're training for a jiu-jitsu tournament, right? My daughter's in jiu-jitsu; she's 4. She did her first tournament last year, She got second place. It was wonderful. But it's, if you've practiced and you've trained and you have done the work, then you go into the championship tournament, and the outcome doesn't matter. You do your very best, and maybe you win, maybe you lose, doesn't really matter. Of course, if we realize we haven't trained and we haven't practiced, I'm not really as good as I could be, right? I could have done more, should have done more. Then we're sort of, we still have to accept the outcome, obviously. But I think that there's a lesson to be learned in that, right? This is the card of sacrifice and suffering, surrender, but it's intentional. It's kind of saying, like, I know I'm entering into a situation that it could go either way. Could go my way or not, I don't know. I'm going to do my best to give it a positive outcome, but I don't know how it's going to turn out. This is the card that says, even in those experiences where we lose, even in the suffering and the sacrifice, I have to find the lesson. The lesson is, maybe I should have practiced. The lesson is, maybe I should have worked harder yesterday so that I would have had a better chance of succeeding today. We don't let any sacrifice or suffering go to waste. Okay? We don't let any challenge that we're facing be worthless. We have to find value in everything. Right? Let's maximize the value. We're gonna suffer in life. We're gonna lose stuff. We're gonna have breakups. People are gonna pass away. We're gonna pass away at some point, I think, most of us. Bad things are gonna happen to us. The Five of Pentacles is always in front of us. It's always looming over tomorrow. No matter how successful we feel today, tomorrow, I don't know. So why not take advantage of these losses, the suffering, the sacrifices, and make them mean something? What do they teach us? Okay, but sometimes we don't want to accept that. Sometimes our emperor is clashing with the idea of surrender. We say, no, it was rigged, or the referee was, they scored it wrong, or they weren't paying attention, or the coach doesn't like me, or you know what, I had a tickle in my throat or something, or they cheated, or we find excuses why we don't have to accept, we don't have to surrender to it, And we try to resist it. We try to push the river. We try to swim upstream rather than just saying, yeah, you know what? That dude kicked my butt, and I should have practiced more. And maybe next time, I'll think about this match and what I did wrong, and I'll do better tomorrow. I'll use it as a way to grow. Okay? I'll use it for something positive. And so there is this clash between the emperor and the Hanged Man that needs to be reconciled. Now, in the environment, of course, you have that Nine of Wands, which is strength. Sometimes the strength in your relationships with something, in your experience outside doing something in the world, right? In the jiu-jitsu tournament, your strength is not always you dominating and forcing and asserting yourself and controlling the situation. Sometimes strength is just the ability to accept. Sometimes strength is the ability to surrender. And I don't mean that you're going to just say, I give up the match, I'm not going to fight, just go ahead, I lose, No, but accepting the outcome, perhaps. Surrendering to those things outside of your control that you can't change. Okay? That you've done everything you could possibly do. You fixed the car, you changed the oils, you filled up the tires, you put gas in it, you checked the brakes, everything's perfect. You still get the flat tire on your way to work. There's no way you could have prevented that. Strength is not you taking a hammer and beating the car up. Strength is you accepting, got a flat tire. Okay, how do I deal with this? Strength, we have to know that true strength is your ability to choose between Emperor and Hanged Man and choose correctly. If you're in a jiu-jitsu match and you're trying to win, maybe strength is not the Hanged Man, because the Hanged Man is just saying, I'm scared, you win, I quit. I lost, before we even try. But at the same time, then strength would be the sort of the acceptance here of the outcome. The referee says you lost the match. Okay, I accept that. Okay. So in that match, of course, we want to do our very best. We want to perform our very best and then accept the outcome. We want to try our very best to do a good job at work, but if things break down, if there are unexpected surprises, if there are malfunctions, if something's kind of beyond, other people don't do their job the right way or whatever it is, we accept that. And our strength becomes trying to do our very best and trying to accept, doing our very best to accept the inevitabilities of our fate. Okay? In our path toward our destiny, as we are trying to succeed, as we are trying to create a better, more successful and happier life for ourselves. Okay? This is not a successful life, this is struggle. This is not a happy life, this is disappointment. Okay? So really, the Spirit is trying to show you the way to accept disappointment and struggle and worry as a natural part of your path toward happiness. You can't have happiness if you don't know disappointment. Because it is through disappointment and worry that we realize where we need to assert ourselves or surrender, where we need to try harder or we need to accept the inevitable. Right? Have we tried hard enough that now we can surrender and say, this wasn't for me? But we're not going to know unless we see it through, unless we really get to that point and we ride those waves of emotion. And some days this is going to lead us, I think the mystery card will be a 6 of Cups, right? Don't you? The 5 of Cups is that disappointment. And, we could be disappointed in the outcome, the disappointment in the judgment, right? We lost the match. We're disappointed, yeah. But what's worse, that saying, I lost the match, fair and square, disappointed, or disappointed in ourselves that I didn't try hard, or disappointed even that I couldn't accept the outcome of the match. Okay, so we can be disappointed in ourselves or disappointed in the outcome. Okay, and if we don't do our very best to succeed, we're going to be disappointed in ourselves, rightfully so. We got to feel that. We got to take that hit. We got to learn that lesson. Okay, but if we do our very, very best and we still lose, we got to accept that. We can still feel disappointed, but that's not going to sting as bad. That's not going to be as bad as that disappointment of knowing that I could have done better than this, that I should have done better than this. Let's look at the mystery card. Anyway, I think we are trying to put our best effort into everything that we do. And that's going to involve, by definition, some disappointment. If you're trying to do your very, very best at anything, there are going to be times where that's just not good enough. You've got to push yourself. There's some times that you're going to go and you're going to try to win the game. You're not going to do it. You're not going to win. Or you're going to try to lift the weights. You're going to try to pass the math test or something. You're not going to do it. Why? Because you're doing something hard. If you got it right every single time, it would be too easy. There'd be no growth there. It's only by finding ways to challenge ourselves that we grow. And doing that, by definition, we have to accept a little bit of disappointment because we're not going to get it right every time. Mystery card, what are you thinking? I'm thinking 6 of Cups, right? To go with we have a 6 and a 5. Maybe we need a 6 to go with that 5. So 6 of Cups, if you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. The 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands is a swiftness. The 8 of Wands is a burst of energy. The 8 of Wands is, to me, feels like training ourselves to be able to react in a situation in the right way without having to, because the one thing I didn't point out here was there's no swords cards here. Okay, we look at this. We've got our majors, we've got our fire, we've got our earth, a little bit of water. We don't have any sword. Well, we got the swords back. That's different. That's a court card. We don't have an ace through 10 of swords anywhere. Okay, so what we are trying to train ourselves to do is to react to the world appropriately without having to stop and think about it and analyze every muscle movement. It's really a process of training here, And it's our ability to stay moving, to stay fluid, for the body and the sort of for the spirit, for our energy to just flow and move without having to slow it down to think about it. When we try to think about everything, we got to do it in slow motion. Slow motion. How do you swing the bat? You know, how do you swing the bat? When it happens in real life, you don't have time to think. You don't have time to slow things down so that you can analyze every step of the way. All right, it's the trapeze artist, you know, like right here. We've got to be able to react and respond to life in real time by training ourselves beforehand how to do certain things. The same way that, you know, when you're playing a musical piece on the piano, you're going to go really, really slow, and you're going to check the position of your fingers. I don't play piano, a little bit maybe. You're going to do it very, very slowly, so that at some point we're just playing. We don't even have to think about it. I mean, I've seen people, I know people that are very good at the piano. I don't know how good they are, but they're very good to me. And they're sitting there playing these really upbeat, fast, a lot of movement on the piano, and they're just having a conversation with me. And I'm like, how are you doing that? How are you doing that? I can't even walk and chew gum at the same time, right? So it's just something that gets built into us as muscle memory, right? And I think that's what the Eight of Wands is saying here, is that we want to get we want to build up this the skill level where we can react to what's in front of us, the challenges of life, and we know how to behave in the right way. We're always putting forth our best effort. It becomes automatic, you know? I think this is good. I think this is really good. It shows that you are advancing yourself and developing this skill in some way. I don't know what you're doing, but I find that you're very focused on it. All of your energy is going in the same direction here with this card. Now we're going to do an extended reading. We'll do an Jing reading. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link up top. There's a link down below. New readings for Gemini Mondays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.